The man in this picture inspires me, but not in the way that you think. This is my dad. Growing up, I hated the guy because he never let me be a kid. If I was ever caught playing, I was yelled at for being lazy. When I worked my hardest, he would whip me and call me worthless. He was a jerk. When I was 11 years old, I tried to take my life. A few months later, I told him, and he asked me, "Why in the world would you do that?" I told him, "Because your world would be better off without me." 3 days later, we took this walk. And he told me, "Son, I don't know how to be a good man. Nobody ever taught me, and so I don't even know how to teach you. But maybe we can learn together." Every week after this day, until I graduated from high school, my father would ask me, "Son, how did I do this week?" And I gave him a grade, A, B, C, D, F, and I'd explain to him why I got the grade. Over the next decade, a rage-filled boy had his mind repatterned by the service of his father. As adults, we became best friends. Fast forward, December 2010. I was living in Santa Monica by the beach, had a nice place filled with nice stuff, and I felt pretty successful. I'd spent the last decade writing about breaking patterns of generational dysfunction and the repatterning of the mind. In my book, I describe how my father used serving me to heal a traumatized mind. The theory is simple. If you spend a significant amount of time serving another, then when intense situations occur, instead of your mind freaking out and being limited by fear, your mind relaxes and you reconnect to those that you served. Well, this theory brought me from being a suicidal kid to becoming the happiest person I knew. But once I reached this point of happiness, it seemed like nearly everyone I met was dealing with these limiting patterns that their parents unintentionally passed on to them. So I thought, well, why don't I show other people how to repattern the mind? At least they'd have an option. As a young boy, I would pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And countless people have served this country with their lives. And as a man, I had done nothing. But that was about to change. Alexis de Tocqueville said, "America is great because America is good. And if America ever ceases to be good, then America will cease to be great." So I decided it was worth my life and my time to go around my country encouraging people to be good, repatterning minds along the way. That's how my project was born. I would give myself 1 year to tour America, touching all 50 states to show them how. The premise was simple. I would give one individual or family in each state 3 days of service. I would not ask a dime for my time, just that they pay it forward. Now, I recorded everything on a GoPro because otherwise this concept is difficult to believe and impossible to prove. You see, I believe that people can thrive in modern society by living in a constant state of giving. When a friend of mine mentioned the name Serf Bliss, I thought it was cool because being a serf was how people survived for centuries without money, by giving more than they took. I wanted to repattern my own mind while exploring the concept, so I decided to press the reset button on my life. The goal was to attain bliss, so Serf Bliss. April 1st, 2011, it's my birthday. I had a party, and instead of receiving gifts, I gave away everything I owned. And if you didn't call or show up, then you missed out on imported art from the Far East, Ethan Allen furniture, flat screen TV, PlayStation 3, and much more. Some of my friends just scrambled for loot, while others held the moment sacred. I just kept things necessary for my journey. Car, bag of clothes, toolbox, computer, camera. Everything else was up for grabs. I watched as the life I created in Los Angeles was stripped away. Then I left. I had so much anxiety in the beginning that I chewed up the insides of my cheeks and dropped down to 152 pounds. And so I tried to have fun with it. Instead of facing America as an entire country, it became a game board, and I had to find one player in every state. I drove up the coast and stopped by my uncle's house to share what I was doing. And he said, "That is the stupidest idea I've ever heard." Yeah, my friends called me insane. It was the loneliest drive of my entire life, and it made me doubt if humanity was good. I was headed north, and I didn't know where I was going, who I was going to serve, only that their zip code had to be in Oregon. Fortunately, as I crossed the state line, a friend of mine from college connected me with her brother in Bend. I rarely knew where I was going until a day or two before I got there because I wanted to keep the process organic and fluid. And I quickly learned the best way to find people to serve was provided by the 6 degrees of separation. The guy I served in Tennessee was a friend from college. I stained his deck and helped him write a speech. He set me up with his buddy in Wisconsin that had me help plan a party for his dad's 20th anniversary of a heart transplant. That guy set me up with his business associate in Maine who had me paint a friend of hers mobile home. She set me up with her cousin in New Hampshire whose lifelong friend died when I walked in the door and I helped him grieve. That guy set me up with his cousin in Vermont who had me give flood relief to her community. Most of the people I served were complete strangers. I served Democrats, Republicans, independents, and people that don't believe in voting. I served Christians and atheists, Catholics and pagans, different races, ethnicities, young, middle-aged, old, married, single, divorced, gay, straight, and undecided. I wanted Serf Bliss to be so broad that labels didn't apply, and the project just became human. People would ask me, "How do you afford this?" And I would tell them, well, I do donation-based massage. If they wondered if I was any good, I would tell them that I was the massage therapist for NBC's The Biggest Loser, season 7 through 11, and American Gladiators when it came back on TV. I would do the work, and they would donate whatever they wanted. One person gave me earrings. Another gave me enchiladas. I ate the enchiladas, gave away the earrings, and used the donations to pay for gas, cell phone, and insurance. On State 4, I had $120 to my name and over 20,000 miles left to go. I believed that by accomplishing this project with no savings, sponsors, or financial safety net, it would prove that anyone with a skill, a handyman, an accountant, a babysitter, anyone could do this too. Every state started the same way. I just ask a question. How can I help you? I would stay with the families, eat with them, serve them, and fulfill their requests to the best of my ability, as long as I could show it to my mom on YouTube. My whole plan consisted of finding the coolest opportunity to serve in the next state, and the lessons just poured in. State 1 taught me sustainable agriculture. State 2 taught me the redemptive power of friendship. State 3 taught me how the brain works, and the list goes on. I served them, gave more than I took, learned how to be a better man, and at the end of the week I'd ask, how did I do? The concept was difficult to explain in the beginning, but my friends vouched for me. People gave me a chance, videos gave me traction, and by State 15, people trusted me. I mean, most of the time I just did housework and odd jobs. But I got to learn how the smallest act of human kindness encourages others to make an impact in their world. I learned that people do want to be good and want to encourage human kindness. On State 25, the midway point of my journey, a 12-year-old girl asked me, "Hey, mister, what's going to happen if you don't make it to all 50 states?" I said, "Then I'll be dead." After that moment, I no longer had anxiety because I knew I had figured out how to live by giving. Now, there were some times I was frustrated, wondering, what is the point? Like when I was in Indiana and I was asked to pick up dog poop. Yeah, and I wondered, how can picking up dog poop change anything in the world? And a poem my mom taught me as a kid rang in my ears. Theirs is not to reason why. Theirs is but to do and die. So I picked up the poop and let time give me the answers. Susanna Gideon is a computer programmer in Bozeman, Montana. She had a dream to become a documentary filmmaker, and she told me about this dream as we took this drive to Yellowstone National Park. I told her, why don't you give it a shot? You'll regret it if you don't try. At this very moment, she is showcasing a documentary in Prague, Czechoslovakia. After she experienced a handyman do some work at her place and follow his dream, she decided to do the same. Nashville, Tennessee. Nathan Oates won an award. He had to give a speech in front of 10,000 people, and he was stressed, and understandably so. We chatted in his kitchen after he put his kids to bed, and we threw a few ideas around. I helped him develop that speech, and he used those ideas. Nathan is now one of the keynote speakers for his company. The most meaningful Pay It Forward story comes from Shadyside, Ohio. Melissa Karkowski asked me to take her boys fishing because her husband promised him a fishing trip and committed suicide before following through with his word. He was a soldier coming back from Afghanistan, had PTSD, and wrongfully believed that their world would be better off without him. Fulfilling that promise remains one of the greatest honors of my life. Melissa continues to pay it forward by hosting a 5K that supports soldiers suffering from PTSD. It's called Miles for Mike. When Melissa told me of her dream of being on one of those weight loss shows, I called up Marcy Crozier, the person I served in Indiana who was on The Biggest Loser, and I said, hey, Marcy, do you think you can share Melissa's story with any casting director people you know? See if there's interest? She said, sure, Beck. Last July, Melissa was on national TV, ABC's Extreme Weight Loss. Now, why did Marcy help? Well, first of all, because she's cool, and she's my friend. Secondly, because 2 weeks prior, I asked her, how can I help you? And she said, I need you to help my friend. That friend asked me to pick up dog poop because it hurt her back too much to bend over. I wondered how picking up dog poop could change anything in the world. And it gave Melissa the rare opportunity to train with the best of the best on that TV show, which transformed her life. I didn't do anything amazing for these people. These people already had amazing wrapped up inside of them. All they needed was a little human connection. And that's how Pay It Forward works. You can't force it or control it. You have to serve others, do your best, and let it go. In time, you will see the impossible happen. In the end, the Serf Bliss journey repatterned my mind. It showed me how the smallest act of human kindness can alter our collective destiny to a more positive end. It revealed the greatness that is locked inside of everyone, and the keys to unlocking that greatness are found in serving others. The next step for Serf Bliss is to create an app that tracks Pay It Forward. I hope that people will use this app to learn their own lessons by serving others. I dream of a socially honorable system that soldiers could use after returning from battle to repattern their mind and reintegrate back into society. I believe that human resource departments can sift applications and drive business through a history of social good. My goal is to offer the same transformative experience that I enjoyed. I want to pay it forward. And maybe one day we can all join in on this great journey of learning how to be better men and women together. Thank you.